Emma Lenny Benye Unile Loko. Esiku Dede Asikoyi. Hello everyone, it's Àrokò again. I hope your day is going well. Today I'll be addressing another Àrokò, symbolic communication, and I'll be explaining what it means if somebody sends a baby strapping sash to another person. We call baby strapping sashes Ọjà. So this R is pointing at the Ọjà. When you wrap the baby around you with the Ìró, the larger fabric, you use the Ọjà, you put that around your waist, somewhat around the baby's waist actually. It would be the baby's and yours. So they are not thin, they tend to be as wide and as thick as this. I'm holding an Ọjà. This is an Ọjà. You tie it around your waist and the baby's waist for more security. You know, of course, the Ìró you wrap around like your beside your armpit, your abia, you know, and you tie that there. But this also provides extra security. You tie it in front. When I thought a Yemoja song, Ẹlẹ́yin ọmọ Yemoja, Ẹlẹ́yin ọmọ Yemoja, ẹ òró ìṣà tó òróṣọ̀ tó gbàjá. Ẹlẹ́yin ọmọ Yemoja. I explained the difference between the Ìró and the Ọjà, especially in relation to that song. With Ìró, you sort of nurture the baby, but this is very much a protective item for protecting them. If you've not seen the video, I'll link it so you can watch it. So if the Ọjà is sent to someone, maybe a man, a husband or something, it could be that someone that was pregnant or someone they were expecting to be pregnant. Well, if it's a husband, definitely someone that was already pregnant before they left home. Someone has given birth, essentially. Ayo, abara, binti. It's very clear. There are different types of Ọjà. There are some that are just like maternal, and they are just as significant. But there are some that are even more significant to specific spiritual communities as far as symbolism is concerned. But it's very much an item of protection across the board, or a representation of protection. In this instance, it's very simple. It's just somebody has given birth. If they a husband and their wife was pregnant, they went on a hunting spree or whatever for the past 2 weeks and they haven't seen their wife, but they are guessing they're probably closer to giving birth, and somebody sends this to them. This is a definite yes. If the mother survived but the baby didn't, there's a twist to that. There's a different thing that you can send. You just want to say that they've given birth anyway, irrespective of the situation. You want them to come home as fast as they can. This would be the item to send. Or maybe even somebody's daughter that was pregnant and they were expecting to give birth. They've not seen them in a long time. This is well, who sent you again? From what Abba? From what settlement? Or from what village? Yeah, I know exactly what that means. My child has given birth. In another context, it could be a protect your child kind of message. It's very reminiscent of this song. So I don't know if you heard it, but it's from the Escape album. Do you know where your children are? Because it's now 12 o'clock. If they're somewhere out in the street, just imagine how scared they are. People wonder how people scold, what the idea of school was. Back in the day, people went to other people to learn. Many times they stayed with their own parents. So if your father was a farmer and you had interest in farming, and maybe you have parents who have any concern for spirituality whatsoever, and they did you a course Ejai, and they said, oh, it's going to be a great farmer. Anything that involves like farming trade, this child would be very interested in. Watch them as they grow. You're very likely going to stay with your father, your parents, because they are into farming as well. But if you're a child of a hunter, and of course a jaya is done for you, and they say, yeah, no, this one is a diviner. This one is going to divine. This one is a diviner and a healer. and the parent knows nothing about divining or healing, and they know of somebody that is very good at it or is supposedly good at it. When the child reaches a certain age, they may send them off to learn Ifa, to study Ifa. And back in the day, it wasn't a quick process. It wasn't a 2-week thing. This is just one example. It could be anything. It could be, she's interested in hairdressing, hair braiding. I know nothing about hair braiding. She can go to this person within this village or on the outskirts of this village to learn how to do that. So there were many Omo Odos, Omo Odomi, the child that is with me, Odo, with me. So there were many Omo Odo. The meaning of Omo Odo now has somewhat changed. If you say Omo Odo, people instantly think of like people who are just a tiny bit better than slaves, to be honest. Well, I shouldn't say that because some people are good to them, some are not. But you think of like housemaids and, some people treat them with dignity, some don't. But that's how Omodo is mostly used in this day and age, because a lot of people don't send their children off to learn anything. Things work very differently now. So if your child is with somebody, they're learning a trade, and somebody sends this to you, first of all, you don't have a baby. You're in your house. You are a mother. You don't have a baby. So you know that it's not like they've given, you have to interpret it a different way. It's not like you have a child that is pregnant somewhere, or especially, depending on where it was sent. So of course, if the messenger brings this, you ask, where did it come from? Who's the person who sent it, and from what village did it come? If they are from far, if they are from like 30, 45, 1 hour, walk away, who sent you and where did you come from? Somebody is trying to tell you that your child needs your attention. It may be that the child is having trouble because the communities were very communal. There was not a mind your business, it's none of your concern approach. People paid attention. Of course, that always has a positive and a negative, right? But someone probably, and especially if it doesn't come from the person your child is with, the person your child is learning a trade with or learning something with, and it comes from maybe somebody that is not far from where they live, or somebody who you've told, okay, please, my child is there, please watch them. You try to be nice to everybody around so that they can identify your child and just, they are your cameras. They are your human surveillance. I don't think that would ever end. So if they send this to you, maybe they don't know how to really express it, but they are basically saying, even if you think that your child is being nurtured, so maybe you send food to that child frequently, or you send calories to the person who's training them, or whatever other food items, baba this or this, the person who my child is with, that of course the children would work and sort of earn their keep one way or another, and many times food wasn't even an issue. There was very small scale farming around the home, and even in bigger farms, food wasn't always an issue anyway. But many times you may send yams and akara and this and that to your child and the person who's training them, but they may need some kind of protection or monitoring. So this is a clear, your physical presence is needed. Maybe the child, I'm trying to come up with something now, maybe the child had a wound and it's just getting worse, and the person who's taking care of them, it doesn't necessarily mean that the person who's taking care of them, the person who they are with is abusing them. It may not be that, but they may just not be paying a lot, especially when they have so many people around them that they are training. They may just not have that time or that particular concern for your child. I'd like to pretend like everything was prim and perfect back in the day and there were no mishaps and everything just went on well and there was no evil. But that is not true. So it may be that the wife of the person or the child of the person who's training them, or even the person training the child themselves, they're hurting that child, you know. Omo dagba loju, yeah, if the even loju àwọn òbí ẹ̀ papa, if the child is 14, 15-year-old, I don't need to strap them on my back, they're old enough. The person is saying you don't have a baby, but you have a baby that you need to draw closer and investigate. Something is going on with that child. Pay attention to them. It is not typical that the child will send this themselves. Oh, please give this to my mother, or who lives in that village. Or it's very unlikely. It will probably be somebody around, a concerned parent, especially even a concerned mother. Protect this child. Do some investigation. Something is going on. Even if you're certain they're eating, or maybe the last time you went to visit them, maybe like 2 months ago, and you asked them, how are you? I'm fine, I'm eating well. And maybe the spouse of the person who they're with, who they live with now, is also saying, oh, everything is fine, he's a good boy. Still have to protect your baby. Protect your baby before you lose that baby. In worst case scenario, you know, something is going on. People didn't use it to shame, like, oh, you're a bad mother, or shame on you. Your child is going through this in this village and you're not aware. You just left your child with this person to learn some silly trade or acquire some silly knowledge. Shame on you. You're a bad woman. Not necessarily. People who have evil intentions or bad opinions of you won't even bother to send this. They'll just talk about you bad behind your back and pretend in your face. But if somebody's sending this to you and you know that your child doesn't live with you and you're not exactly sure of what they're going through, you're just relying on accounts, yeah. You still have a motherly role to perform, so get on with it. Yeah. So your child, biological or not, because it's not every time that you would be the one who birthed the child, but they are your child. You both know that, you the woman and the child, that person needs you, so you should pay attention to them or pay them a visit. And if they tell you, oh, everything is fine, and then investigate. Of course, the first step for your investigation would be go to the person who sent you this. Go to the person who sent you an oja in relation to your 20-year-old son or 15-year-old son that is living with someone and learning a trade from them. Go to the person and ask, what did you see? Tell me what you saw. Or, yeah, woman to woman, tell me exactly what I need to know. That's that. If you have any questions or comments or additions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Thank you for watching and for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day, and bye for now. Ogun ara bí àgbo mílíọ̀nù àjẹ ìjẹgbẹ́pẹ́ yẹ kú sí gbá sí ẹranko mọ́gí. Ogun ọ̀yọ́ ọ̀sán rí ọ̀rọ̀ mi alẹ́ lóde òbí òṣùmọ̀ rè. Pópó méje ògùn mọ́ ọ̀gbẹ́ sí iye mọ́jọ́ rere mẹ́fà mọ́ ọ̀gbẹ́ sí ògùn. Ayò gbogbo tẹ́ gbéyàwó wọ̀gbẹ́ ọ̀lànlé mi lọ ọ̀kẹ́rẹ́ òkun. Jogún òsòyè mọ̀jà àti ìdọ́kọ̀ lójú omi. Èké lódò wáyà dànù. Ọ̀dàlẹ́ lódò wáyà ṣúbẹ́tẹ́. Jogún òsè ìyá mi ń yọ fojú kan yé mọ́jọ́ lójú lọ́pọ̀n lòún ṣèkí ọ̀rọ̀ mi alẹ́ lódò bí òṣùmàrè. Ẹ mọ́jà fọ ọdún èyí ṣàìṣe mọ́ ọdún owó ọdún ọmọ ọdún láìkú baálẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀. Kàní ọ̀bọ̀ ọ̀sẹ̀ ooo tí ó jẹ́ kí ẹ bọ̀ rí ọwọ́ rú ooo àbútẹ̀rù onífẹ́ ọ̀nì ọmọ ojú rábẹ́ ojú mi rábẹ́ sámọ́sì mú ẹ̀yìn mo mú gbàbẹ́ ọ̀tá ìrẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́.